the bowling, so I didn't get some notes together. So let me go get my laptop here to see what my scores were this week. It was a let's say not super stellar week, but it wasn't overly disastrous either. I think the biggest issue I had this week was um what was it, Tuesday, my senior league. There we go. Okay. Yeah, my senior league um had a lapse of whatever, um as I missed, I think, four makeable spares, which is always isn't that good. And then it started to carry over last night on Wednesday. In my first game, I missed two 10 pins. And I said to myself, I don't think you're concentrating. So for the rest of the night, I didn't miss any single pin spares. And it may not sound like a whole heck of a lot, but I think we keep tallies of corner pins, whether it be a 7 pin, 10 pin, also 4 pins we keep track of, but especially sevens and tens. And I want to say in the first game, we probably had about close to 15 as a team, close to 15 10 pins. And I think we had well in the 20s for the evening. So missing the two is not excusable in the first game, but for the rest of the night, not missing anymore was fine with me. All right, let's see. In Crawfordsville, Indiana, on a regional, and so hopefully we'll not miss any spares, makeable spares. Can't guarantee you that, but let's just try and keep them low, especially the 4 pin or 6 pin. Um, on that Tuesday night, the disaster. But I think I did. I think I may have dumped it in the gutter at the last second, one of those kind, the aggressive kind versus the passive kind, which go to the left. If you're a right-hander. Um, I know I had a 4-7 and I chopped it by leaving the four. And then later on had a 4 pin and would have chopped it again because I missed the four. I had an 8 pin and missed the 8 pin. Um, I had a 3-6, which was kind of cool. It's kind of funny. Um, the 3-6, we were in the first game, even with my disastrous. I think I had two or three missed single pins, or the chop four, the missed four, and I think the missed eight. I wasn't doing that great, and I was not too pleased about it. And it came down to the 10th frame, and I threw the ball and I left a 3-6. I'm sitting there going like, okay, please focus on this one, because we were we were down a pin, and if I missed it, we would have lost. If I chopped it, we would have tied, and if I would have made it, we'd win by 1 pin. So I'm up there and I'm saying, okay, if there's any concentration left inside of your old noggin, um, please turn it on. And fortunately, it did. We won by 1 pin. Okay, I felt good, and I told my team, I says, I've been chopping those recently. So in the second game, I just had a 3-6. I think maybe in about the fourth frame or something like that. I pulled that sucker and I missed it by I missed it to the left by four. So I just came back and I says, "Aren't you glad I didn't do that in the 10th frame?" We lost the second game, and in the third game, we came back and we did win. So as far as scores are concerned, on Saturday mixed. I had a 569, a 181, a 212, and a 176. And I want to say that was that the night, one of those nights I had that was just no matter what ball I was doing, it just seemed like that was the wrong one that I had. It may have been Saturday. I don't think any of us did really well. And I was happy to take a 569. Um, It was, I think I was struggling with, I'd open up, usually I'll sometimes open up with the um, phase two pearl, and then I'll see what that ball does, and it'll make a decision on whether or not I go asymmetric or I go to the um, alert, which is still one of my go-to balls right now. I'm ranking the alert almost as critical as my phase two. Both of those are going to the tournament with me this weekend. The phase two is always a staple. The regular old phase two, not the phase two pro. The phase two is always a staple. Whenever I get lost, I'll just pull that out. But I'm finding now that um, I can bring out the alert. Now, this is in league. I'm trying to think if I ever, I don't think I threw that in the last tournament I was in. It was a six gamer with Strike and Spare. And I don't believe I brought it because I didn't really do anything with it. I had it drilled up, I threw it a couple times, and I popped it into the box and back on the shelf. Um, when I brought it out, it's what responsible for on a Saturday night a 700. On a Monday night, like I think that was a high six. The 700 I got on a Monday night 2 weeks ago or 2 or 3 weeks ago was with the Theorem Pearl, which is another one I pulled out of box. What I have grown to like the alert an awful lot. Even a couple people that I bowl in leagues with would come up to me and say, I never knew that ball was going to be that good. I picked one up, and the first thing I shot was like a 750 or say, 655 or 780, or, I mean, not 70, 680 something. So I'm really liking the alert. It has been very, very good. Like I said, I will pull that one out before I pull a phase two out. My phase two, once again, is my when everything else just is not working. I'm going phase two. So my Saturday night was the 569, and I was still pretty happy to get that. Now my Sunday challenge, I gotta say that I was watching the 2025 Chameleon because we just started on the Chameleon. We had just come off of a 37 foot. Oh, the bat 37. And I'll be honest with you, in the three games we had, I kind of sucked on all of them, but just about everybody did on my team and including the opposing team because there was always one guy who brought out urethane who really didn't know how to throw urethane. And I'm not picking on a bowler. I'm not picking or making fun or anything like that. He just honestly just would throw the ball. And his zones were like 15 boards, three arrows. He was just all over the place. And by the middle, he did this in practice. So by the time we started, we already had a disadvantage. By the end of the first game, there was nothing. And what did I shoot on that one? I think the last one, oh, here we go. I have first week of it 443, next week of it 466, and the last week 481. And I think my 481 was second highest for both teams, only to a 503. So it just it's one thing to have urethane, and I'm not going to get into a urethane blab or anything like that. But if you have an idea, and I'm not talking about you're being a pro or an expert or anything, but if you have a general idea of how to throw urethane, I have no problem. Another reason why I don't have any, well, I don't want to say problem, but any issues where I know it's going to affect everybody on lane play. The other one that I don't really get too excited about is, especially I bowl in a senior league or in one of my mixed leagues, there is probably about a half a dozen, if not more, who are very close to their 80s or in their 80s. They throw urethane because they throw 8 miles an hour. That's an excellent ball for them, outside of a spare ball. But at least with urethane, you're going to get some movement, but a spare ball, you're not. Um, and I know of one guy, unfortunately, he's no longer with us anymore. Um, he was in his 80s. He was like 82 years old, and he was just struggling. He was a good bowler in his youth, and even in his 70s was a good bowler, but he had a stroke. He had a couple other issues, and one time near the end there, he was had the oxygen and stuff because his body was shutting down, but he still loved the bowl. And somebody suggested to him to pick up a urethane ball. And from going to 140s and 150s, because he couldn't, a regular reactive ball, he couldn't keep on the lane. He's throwing it 7 to 8 miles an hour. Um, somebody told me get a urethane ball, got a urethane ball, and by golly, before he finally quit bowling because of health reasons, he was shooting in the 180s, 185. So you're talking about a 30 pin difference, 30, 35 pin difference. And I was not upset even, and he was fairly accurate. I mean, I consider anybody accurate in the league world to be within 5 boards of their zone. So if you're playing between the second and third arrow and you're constantly on the second arrow or maybe on the third arrow or anywhere in between, I consider that, accurate for a league bowler. This guy who was throwing the urethane, like I said, sometimes was on the first arrow, sometimes even like on a third board. Other times he was going over the third arrow. He tried going into the fourth arrow by swinging it and threw it in the gutter. And it just, the lanes were shot. So nobody did well for this. So we started last week with a chameleon. And I watched the 2025 PBA Chameleon Championships. Um, and they started out, I think Andrew Anderson started out with Attention Star, and Hoope was starting out with the Theorem, I mean, not the Theorem, but the Ion Pro. And both, eventually Anderson got out of the Star, Attention Star, and went to the Ion Pro. And that they start taking off. I said, okay, I've had one of those drilled up. Let me bring that along. And then I brought along a couple others. I did think I did bring the Alert along and some other ones. But the ball that did it for me, by golly, was the Ion Pro. I was glad I brought it. I was glad I was watching the thing. I do that often when I'm going to be bowling on a pattern I'm not too familiar with or I don't do well on. I will go back to the past tournaments, and now I don't throw like EJ. I don't throw like Andrew. I don't throw like Hoope. I don't throw like any of those. I think Kevin McCune was on there too, and I definitely don't throw like him. I always kid around. I said the revs that Kevin gets off of one ball in one throw, I can probably total in a whole night's evening. Just add up my revs. Um, I think Kevin was with the IQAI, and he was having difficulties with it. But the IM Pro is it. So I figured, what the heck, I'm going to do that. So in practice, I think I was throwing. Oh, maybe the Theorem Pearl or something. Oh, no, no, no. I was throwing the Phase 2 Pearl because I don't like to, I mentioned this before, I don't like to lane shine my solids in practice. I will take a ball that I have a pretty good idea on how it moves, and then I'll throw it, and it's usually a polished ball. So sometimes I'll either throw like the Phase 2 Pearl. Other times I've thrown, um, oh, what was it? Oh, the Zen 25. uh, or a ball that I may not use until later. A polished ball, just in practice. One mainly, my whole purpose in practicing initially is just to get loosened up. I'm not one for stretching because there has been a time where I've stretched and I pulled a muscle, so it's like that's not going to happen. I see these guys do all these contortion with their legs and everything like that, and on the ground and bending over. If I did that, I'd throw my back out. So that's not for me. I just sit and relax, and when I start practice, the first thing I'll do is I'll just generally walk up and then just a nice slow really throw with a reasonable release and watch what the ball does, and I'll do that for 2 or 3 times just to get the blood flowing in my body. In practice, I will never throw. I never get to a point because I never really throw that much, even in some of the lanes leagues that would only allow throwing one ball. Uh, I will also, on throwing one ball, um, take advantage of throwing at the corners, whether there's a pin there or not. If it's a full rack, I'll try, to see what the ball is doing for that. But other than that, I will even often offer up my full rack turn to somebody if they haven't had one. I really want to get kind of zoned in on where the lanes are, where I can stand. I have a spot that I stand, but sometimes there's a board or two difference depending upon the house. Has nothing to do with the lanes. It's just the way I bowl at that house. Like at Centennial, I will usually have going for the 10 pin. I'll have one board to the left because for some unknown reason I like to throw it to the left, and I may miss the 10 pin. On the right, going for a 7 pin, I will also move one board to the left because for some reason I throw. When I go to the other houses like Payless or anywhere else, I can stand in a certain spot that I can stand. So I will practice that lined up, and that does take care of the blood flow. Even in my game, unless I manage to get a lot of a 10 or 15-minute warm up, um, I usually don't start throwing at full velocity or full motion until at least about 3 or 4 frames, just because I'm old. I'll be honest about it. I don't want to pull anything. I got to get the blood flowing, got to get the muscles warmed up. So, uh, you know, congratulations to the guys, the kids that can walk up there on the first ball and just whip it down there. I mean, they're, 40 or 50 years younger than I am. So, good luck to them. So, and they do well and they go ahead and do like last night, the first game. I mean, these kids were just nailing it. They were going between like around 13, 14, 12 to 14, and we're just killing it. And we're leading corner pins and they're crushing it. That balanced out in the end because after they had worn that spot out, the further left they meant was basically by the angle, you're going to leave corner pins. And so they started leaving corner pins, getting washouts and stuff and looking confused. And I said, well, you kind of did it for yourself. You started out way deep and now you got nowhere to go. Because even though you can throw it and you got the revs and you got the speed, the ankle is just not going to be there. So a lot of that. But no, I will. That's my even with in tournaments. Fortunately, with 8 game tournaments, you have about 15 minutes. If there's four in a pair, you're going to get plenty warmed up. I'm usually there, but my first 2 or 3 shots, anyhow, in a tournament, are going to be cautious. I don't know. Sometimes I may pay for that, but once again, I'd rather have a bad shot or a split or a washout versus a pulled muscle that I have to withdraw from. So my Tuesday senior league, 577. I had 195, 149, 233. The 149 was the game that my spare making absolutely sucked. Um, I take full responsibility. That was the chop 4-7, the missed four. That would have chopped another 4-7. The missed 8 pin, which went way to the left, and the missed 3-6, which went way to the left. I will say, and it's not an excuse because I had to go searching around for a larger thumb. When I got in practice, my thumb was very tight in my largest thumb grip. Now I have another thumb grip which is a little larger, but I don't normally use it because it's not the greatest cut. I had somebody cut it or drill it, and they didn't do that great of a job. So I kind of tried to modify it myself a little bit. It works, but it's not my go-to. I have one that is drilled for my largest, and I've opened it up over the years because my thumb has gotten bigger because of all the bowling that I do. I mean, when I first got that stuff drilled, I had 3 sizes drilled. Originally, I just had one, no, two. I had a large one, well, a medium-sized one, and a small one because in the winter my thumb was really good. And this is when I just came back and after 25 years being off, and after a couple of years of bowling, I got into switch grips. Um, and I was in my larger one at the time, and I was at a tournament, I think a USBC tournament. And when my ball came back, my thumb grip was gone. And I asked the guys, I said, "Can you look?" And they couldn't find it. I never did get it back. So I had to go to my smaller one, and my thumb didn't fit it. So I only had to put my thumb in like up to the nail, and the rest of the tournament was a waste of time. So right after that, that following Monday, I went out to actually Saturday because I was still working. That Saturday, I went out to the place I was getting it drilled at the time, and I says, "I need two at this size." And he had his record more at that. And I says, "Could you also drill me one that are slightly larger than my mid one?" And that's what I went with. I think I have about 7 or 8 grips. Now I got the turbos, and the problem with the turbo is that those little nibs at the end, they always snap off. So I have to kind of put tape around the grip and the slug itself. And that gets to be a pain because I got to move tape and stuff like that for other balls. Not much, but it's just some. And when the tape gets worn out, then it's loose, and I got to cut the tape and stuff like that again to put it in there. And this is on the outside. They use silicone tape, not the thumb grip tape. Um, so he drilled those up for me, and over the years, I can't use my teeny tiny ones anymore. At that time, I was bowling 2 leagues a week. I'm bowling 6 and sometimes 7 leagues a week now for the past 4 or 5 years. Plus, I'm bowling. I think I bowled like 17 tournaments last year. So I'm probably going to be bowling close to that this year, especially with the World Series. You got three there, and you got the PBA 60 World Series, which is two there. So my thumb is naturally it's not huge, it's not tore up, but it's just bigger. I hold it up to the other one. It's a quarter size bigger than my left one. So I have a dowel rod and some sandpaper. I've got all kinds of grits all the way down from 60 all the way up to I think 8,000 because of my violin and viola work that I do. We use a lot of sandpaper when we're doing certain things. So I went in with the dowel rod. I want to get one of those things. I think they're 175 bucks, which is the proper way to do it. I probably will pick up one of those this year. And then I open that up, and when I get tight, I'll sit there with the dowel rod when I get home and open up that one and set that aside. Different colors. Got pink, pink, fluorescent green, purple, blue. I don't care what it is, but that kind of helps me in there. And so on Tuesday, um, game two, my even one of my teammates saying, "You're hanging up in the thumb. That's why you're pulling it." And I go, "I know," and I can't help it. I put so much Easy Slide on there that it was ridiculous. So I went to the pink one, which is my largest one right there, and my last game was a 233. I should have done that earlier, but you know, the human nature of things is I can handle this. I'm in control. I can deal with this, and you can't. Okay, just call timeout, throw in the white flag, go to a different grip if you can. So that one wasn't too bad. I ended up with a 577 on Tuesday. Thank goodness for the 233 and the 233. Also, I do believe. No, that was the week before, right? No, that's right. 233 got me um, the pots. So I think it was that, or was it not? Was something else? This is Tuesday. Yeah, that had to be because the other previous weeks weren't that great. Okay, so yeah. Oh, what am I looking at? No, 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 no. That was, yeah, oh, that was, I'm wrong. I'm looking for, oh, okay. This Sunday challenge. Tuesday, Lucy Tuesday. Bear with me here. Um, okay, that was last week. I had, no, 2 weeks ago I had the 279. Okay, that one went my money. All right, so, the Sunday challenge. Okay, I have Tuesday up there, so let me change that right away. Sunday challenge. Okay, okay. I was looking up there and the title said Tuesday, you know. All right. So back to the Sunday challenge. Went with the Ion Pro 233 for 577. I think that may be my highest the entire year. Um, yes, without question. The highest for the year, 577. And a lot had to do with the Ion Pro. When that stopped working, um, I do believe I tried the Theorem Pearl and that was too wet dry. So I think I may have brought the transformer or I went to the alert. May have been the transformer because the alert wasn't breaking the way I would normally have. So I went with the transformer. The first time I threw the transformer, it was in a mixed league or something. I wasn't overly impressed, but it's a 4,000 grit ball, and I was throwing it right to begin with, and it was a little slick that night, so I didn't even bother to worry about that. Last night I threw it in my third game. I think halfway through my third game, and it was a very nice ball, almost to the point where it was really hooking too much. But I've come. I'm going to bring it along to the tournament. I was debating on whether or not to do it, but I'm going to bring it along anyhow. It may not be my go-to ball initially, but I'm going to have it just for a sake because It did give me a nice motion. So Sunday challenge was 577. Oh, that was a good one too. I shot a 233, and I think I'm averaging in there 163. So my handicap was real what like 30 something, 32. So I actually came in second in doubles and took home like $300. I said, that's nice. So on Monday night, I had a bad second game. We'll get to that on Monday, but I had a bad second game, 168. Fortunately, the house mystery, which was $600, the number was 168 and it was one other person, so I took home $300 there. So this week has been, while not my greatest bowling week, I've taken home over $600 in prize money. So that helps a little bit. Okay, since I do hear every once in a while is, you know, why do you bowl that many leagues? Well, I like to, and now I can at least afford to it because bowling paid for itself. All right, so Sunday mixed. What did I do on Sunday mixed? Oh, a 603. 200 in the first game, 241 the second game, and then I started getting. I had four splits. Tried switching balls, that didn't work. Tried switching zones, that didn't work. I had a two, 4, 6, 7 splits. I had a 4, 9 split, and I had, I think, a 6, 7, 10 split. And throughout the night, I had two other splits, but I was lucky enough to pick them up. Otherwise, I would have had a lousy night. So I was hoping for, when you bowl a 241 with a 200, that's 441. You're kind of hoping that you're, going to get a six. Well, uh, after my fourth split, it was like, uh, can we get a six? So I ended up getting a 603. Um, the lanes were not that bad. I transitioned to me, just hit hard the third game, and I had no solution. The other team, they did terrible on fresh, and I do believe that if they haven't won a quarter yet, I think that they're like in second in most of them. Two of their bowlers are well in the 200s, and that, but their first games, they throw at Payless. There's a good line between the third and fourth arrow, which a lot of people go to immediately, and then when it comes time for the last games, they don't do too good. Um, these guys did a little bit better. They were going over the third arrow and sometimes maybe around 13, 14, but mainly over the third arrow, which is 15. The first game was not very good at all. Second game was so-so, but their third game, the one guy, their anchor guy, shot like 279. The other guy got shot like 265 or something like that. So they came alive. We didn't. But um, we did enough, even with my lousy 162. We did enough to take, um, I think, 3 points. I think we took 3 points out of seven, or we may have taken four. We may have taken four. Yeah, I think we won two games. We lost series by 40 something, and we got blown away in the third game. So the first game we won, even though I shot 200, because our third bowler bowled, I think, a 268 or something like that, almost a 300. He yanked it, and he said his thumb got stuck. He yanked it on the, I think, the eighth frame, and he pulled it and left the 245. And I think maybe he opened, but whatever it was, he didn't get the 279. He got 268 or something like that. But we won that one by a lot. Second game was close, but we did win. And the third game we got blown away. So, but I did a 603, and actually put it with that lousy 603. I put a point on my average, so I was pretty happy about that. Monday, what did I do? 589. First game 187. Uh, one of our guys works and he gets off at 7. So we were trying to, and we were bowling a blind team. So with bowling blind and trying to see if you can make it to the fifth frame, that's there's a little bit of waiting there. And I'll be honest, when you wait like that, you never get in a rhythm, and none of us were really in a rhythm. He finally came in before the fifth frame, and everything clicked for him. And I think it was probably adrenaline. I think he was down four. Those were four in a row. He just buried him. The fifth, I think he had a four pin. He picked up the four pin. He had a I think maybe 270 something, 278 or something like that the first game. So we did okay on that. I think how do we do? My guy, we go guy against guy, and I tied my guy in the first game. So I think we ended up with 19 and a half, and they had 10 and a half. But I averaged 589 because I had a 234 last game. And that was, uh, I think I went to the Theorem. Did I go to Theorem Pro? I think I went with the Theorem Pro on the third game and just kind of not put a lot of anything, not a lot of finger into it, but a nice revolution between the second and third arrow and just kind of floated it out there. And that seemed to work. I think I had the front five or something like that. I did very, very well. And then all of a sudden I had two spares. And then I think I had, and eventually got a split maybe on the eighth frame or something, but I ended with a 234 and that was a 589. So at a 168 and a 589, I'll take that. I didn't improve on my average at all. Tuesday seniors, we talked earlier about that. Uh, 535, and I had a 184, 178, 173, and my spare shooting was just horrendous. I mentioned the fact chopped a 4-7, missed a 4 pin, would have chopped it, would have, if it was a 4-7, I would have chopped a 4-7, missed an 8 pin, missed a 3-6. It was just not a very good night for spares, good day for spares, no excuses. Maybe it just wasn't concentrating. I don't know. I was not bowling well and I was not pleased, especially with a tournament coming up this weekend. Coming off a 714, 733, 660, 680, 650, and now all of a sudden missing spares. It's like, oh, you know, get your head together. So I wasn't too pleased. I was going into Wednesday still kind of bummed, and that's a clue. As much as I say, forget about everything, you can't. And in my first game, my first two 10 pins I missed, and I go like, okay, Gene, you are not going to carry this off into this night. I'm sorry, you're not. And fortunately, I did not. I did not miss another single pin spare the entire night. Picked up, I think, a few, maybe no, I didn't pick up any splits that night. But was pretty solid on most of my spares. Did not miss any corner pins. Did not miss a 4 pin. Did not miss a 6 pin after I missed my initial first two 10 pins. First one was to the left, just because I did this funky thing with my elbow. It's not a chicken wing. It's just the opposite. And when I do that, then I overcompensate with my wrist, and I'll miss it 100% of the time to the left. So if I'm going for a 10 pin and I do this thing with my elbow, I know it's going to the left. And I'm sitting there going like, just think, if I can think about my thumb, and as I'm coming through, thinking about my thumb and making sure it comes out, it naturally goes off these two fingers, and then it goes straight. So it's a concentration issue, and I throw it, and I'm thinking about either the pins or thinking about something else, and guess what? You miss it to the left. So the next time, I think 2 frames later, I got another 10 pin, and I go, I know it's in your head. I know you want to try and get it out of your head, but don't do that thing with your elbow. And I did not, and I threw it in the gutter. At the last second, it went, but I did not do that, and I was happy. I think in the second game, I think I had a 10 pin, not a problem. I think I had another 10 pin, not a problem. 6 pin, not a problem. 4 pin, not a problem. 7 pin, not a problem. So uh, I'm in a better state of mind for Saturday. Tomorrow I got practice. I'm going to work on a few things, and then definitely I'll throw near the end. I'll start throwing some corner pins, and just so I can get visually okay with it and mentally okay. And then hopefully on Saturday in the 8 games, I don't throw it all away. So Wednesday, 562 last night, 182, 188, 192. Um, very, very regular. Other than that first one was 182. If you add 22 onto that, that's a 204. So those spares cost me a 200 game, and a 204 on the series would have been 586 versus a 562. Um, I didn't lose any pins, so I'm not too worried about it. But definitely the missing did cost me some pins, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. The fact that I didn't keep on doing it uh, was a plus. Um, so overall, I'm still in a pretty good mental mind coming up for the tournament Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I've bowled at this place before. It's Gary Alsop's place. in Crawfordsville, Indiana. If you happen to be in the area, come out. If you see me and I'm not doing good, throw things at me. Preferably not bowling balls, but popcorn or whatever you want. No, I'm just joking. Um, I'm in a pretty good state of mind because overall, even though the past week has had some flubs here and there, I'm feeling really good about how I'm releasing it. There's still some things I want to work with. I worked on it, especially third game last night. Ended up with a 192. Even the first game, I was working on some stuff. It's more or less presenting myself. And depending on my arm swing and keeping the shoulders straight, and there I still fall off shots. Yes, I do, but and I still come up on the ball. I'm sorry, I try my best not to, but I've been doing that for over 50 years, and I actually probably now 60. So um, that's the way I was taught. That's the way I was learned. That's the muscle memory. I've tried to stay down and let my arm go. I'm not accurate at all. And at this stage of my life, I'll try and work it into my game by keeping my shoulders under control. But it's just going to be one of those things. It's me, and that's all I can say. I'm in the process of. I've got 9 balls already been packed for quite a while of my staple balls. I am bringing my RSD Hyperdrive solids and pearls. Um, like I said, my staples, the Phase 2, the Summit, the Game Breaker 5, the Defender Hybrid, and I think I said the Phase 2. So those are my staples. I'm debating on the other ones. I definitely, after last night, am going to bring the Transformer. I wasn't originally going to bring it, but I actually had a pretty good feel for it last night. It's a 40-foot pattern. I may bring the level. I sometimes I've liked the Hammer NU20, but I'm finding recently that that is really hooking a lot for me, and I don't know if I want to bring a hooking urethane type ball. The level does not hook as much. Um, the Rattler NU definitely hooks a lot, so I'm definitely not going to bring that one on a 40-foot pattern. But it's a debatable we're going to do the Hammer NU2 or the level. Um, it's a toss up right now. I haven't made a decision. Sometimes I think about the level and then I think about games that I've thrown and the level didn't do what I wanted it to do. Other times I think about the NU and then think about games that I was expecting it to go and the thing took off like crazy. So it's a matter of what I want to deal with at the time. Every time I think I'm going to bring level, I'm going, well, the NU is not too bad. Every time I think the NU, well, the level. So it's between those two. I'm not going to bring them both. Definitely bringing the Theorem Pearl because that has come alive. I will have the Black Widow um, Dynasty along with me. Alert, of course, I said I'll bring that one. Um, Debating on whether or not to bring the Nebula. I will probably bring the Ion Pro. Uh, that's even though I'm on a 40-foot pattern, I was kind of impressed with how that ball was rolling recently. And I'll be honest, I've done a lot of change over the past year in my release. Um, how it comes off my hand, how I come out around the ball, how I'm working on keeping that hand totally relaxed, where I know in the past there has been a slight grab. I've made a lot of subtle changes that you physically can't see, but they're there. And so a lot of balls that really didn't do a whole heck of a lot, such as the Ion Pro, are now moving because I am getting more rotation out of it. Eugene McCune has worked with me on this one, on there. So he basically his line was, Gene, without the revolutions, you're going to leave flat. You're going to leave corner pins. If you want to be able to start taking out corner pins, you have to have some revolutions. I'm not talking, 500, but you have to have more than just a casual vom, vom, vom kind of a thing. There has to be some kind of motion. I don't know what mine is. One of these days, I'll line up something and try and see if I can measure it, either by putting tape on it and videoing it, or they have an app out there that you can do it, or go to a place that has um, Specto. Linwood has it. I do believe Town and Country has it out by me. I would probably go to Linwood. Uh, and just to find out, just get an idea, because otherwise I have no idea. But I do know when a ball's not moving a lot. So with that, by increasing that, um, I have been getting more strikes. So um, I'm now bringing out balls. Perfect example was the Theorem Pearl. That ball really didn't do a whole heck of a lot. I threw it. I bought it in November 2024. I threw it in some tournaments, and I wasn't overly impressed with it. I didn't dislike it, but it didn't add anything to what I had. It was just another ball in the bag. Now that, especially, I would say the last 3 months, I've worked very, very hard on trying to increase my rev rate as well as, um, release. And that Theorem Pro got me my 700, 733, all 3 games. The Alert, which was an okay ball or something like that, got me a 714. Um, there is something to that. And like I said, Eugene has been working with me. Um, just even if not in front of the lanes, whenever we talk, how's you doing? What are you shooting? What are you doing? Okay, do this, do that. Make sure you get that rep. Make sure it comes up. Make sure yeah, that when you get here that and he's right, and it's just for something for me to work on. It's fun, and what, in about a month and a half or so, I'll be 71, and fortunately still healthy enough that I can still try and work on things to improve my game. I do know that as time goes on, the body diminishes, and I have had some twangs of it saying, like, Gene, don't forget, you are getting there. But I'm still in a point where I can improve, and which I have. I have improved a heck of a lot this year, all within like the last 2.5, 3 months. I've gotten a lot better. Confidence grows when you start throwing better. When confidence happens, you're going to start throwing better. So it's a physical game, but it's a mental game also. Um, as indicated by me just missing everything on Tuesday, starting out Wednesday, missing things and saying, okay, let's get the mental game. Otherwise, you might as well just, cash in for the end. So versus the first 2 times, okay, don't do what you did last night. Guess what? I did what I did the previous night. So it's important. So be it. I've been in last place before. I'm hoping not to, and I'm going to be thinking not to. I'm going to be thinking game, frame to frame to frame. I have in the tournaments I've bowled, past couple tournaments, I've had two or three 200 games, a couple 190s games, of course, a couple 130s and 140s, but still, I've gotten more 200s lately in the past 6 months on tournaments than I have in the previous year. So I'm very, very positive on it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a great time. I was hoping I have a Concept and Bionic ordered, and I ordered it when it first was announced. And Storm has a way of not delivering before release day. Well, I think they've already been released, and mine isn't going to come until March 3rd. So I would love to have brought both of those to the tournament, and there would have been no question on whether or not that it was going to be a level or a extra in the car. That if something goes wrong, I can run out and say, okay, this ball is. I kind of know sometimes in practice, even though practice is not the same thing as a tournament. I'll throw balls, mainly polished balls. Near the end, I may throw a solid just to see what it might do under burnt conditions. But like I might throw, as we're coming to the end of practice, I might throw a transformer just to see what it does on the burnt conditions because we got 8 games. But I don't like to do that because of the lane shine thing. But I will throw my arsenal of my regular balls that I bring every time. Is the Theorem going to do good? Is the Theorem Pro going to do good? Um, is my Phase 2 Pearl going to do well? Is my RSD Hyperdrive going to do well? Um, Defender Hybrid, is that going to do well? Just to see what it does. Yes, the conditions are not going to be exactly the same as you are when you start the tournament. That's guaranteed. It's another layer of strip and oil, and if they have a pro-am, guess what? That's just another level of bowling on it. So it's never the same. But I look at for myself, let's see. Yes, I am, Steve. I am ready. I'm sitting there talking about it. My doubles partner, Steve. Um, when I get to practice, I throw a ball and I look at what kind of motion it's giving me. I'm not worried about what it strikes. If it strikes, that's great. Okay, I got a line, but I'm not worried about lining up the night of practice because that line is not going to be there tomorrow, guaranteed. But I'll throw at what I usually throw. What are my usually standard startup positions in league? And that's usually throwing over 9 or 10 or 11, somewhere around there, out to about 7 or so, and just see what the ball does. Many a tournament, my infamous 200, 1600 for 8 games, with my last game being a 263, 2 years ago, 3 years ago now in Canton, Ohio. Um, I always would tell this story. I got out there and I was throwing all the balls that I had at the time, and I knew less about that stuff than I do now. Of course, I'm quite a few $100 less than I did back then, but that's beside the point. But I got up there and I was throwing all the balls that I had, and I was just guessing. I had no idea. Even though it's 3 years ago, I've been in this now. This is my sixth year. I still didn't know what was going on. I was just, you know, trying to see what it's all like. I was still not having a clue, not having a battle plan. Had some balls, and even one time I was crossing with Chris Barnes, and halfway through the tournament, he says, "Do you have any other balls?" And I go, "These are the only ones I got, and unfortunately, I only brought one of these." And he goes like, "Oh yeah," and he talked about it. He says, "You're fighting. It's battle. You're not going to win." And I says, "Yeah, I'm doing that." So, but it was very nice of him. Very very polite, very very good, very honest about it. So here I am in Canton, and I'm throwing all these balls, and they're okay. I mean, it's okay, fine. I'm watching motion. Some didn't move at all. That one's going in the car. I'm not bringing it back in. I'm not gonna make a ball do something if it's not doing something with this pattern. Practice or no practice. So at the end, we had like about 10, 15 minutes left or something like that. And I was getting tired. It was 2 hours. So I bring out my RST X2, and I went on one lane. I threw it, buried the sucker. I mean, it was flush. That was cool. Went over to the lane next to it, buried it, flush. I'm going like, okay, that's kind of nice. Went over to the following lane, following pair, threw the ball, flush. I go, uh-oh. Went over to the next pair on that one, threw the ball, flush. I did not throw anything. I think I threw 4 or 6 flush strikes. I go, this is the ball I'm going to start with. I started with that ball, 87, then another 200, 217, 210 or something like that, then some 170s or something like that, and I came up into the ninth, at the end of 7 games, and I'm sitting at an average of 191. This is unheard of for me. I go like, okay, and I tell the story. I look up in the sky and I say, Grandpa, for this last game, could you please see that I stay in the 190s, because it's easier for me to say I bowled 190s versus 180s with a 189, and I bowled a 263, with all 8 games with the RST X2. I just moved left. And that 263, I was 63 down. I ended up getting 1600. Best game I've ever bowled then, and even till today. I think the best last year I did was minus, I want to say maybe minus 175. I had 3 under -2. That's my goal at this point, is to try, if I can do less than minus 200 in any 8 games. For me, that's a plus. Even if I'm like 2-0 something or 2 something, that's still a plus. I had a one minus 175, minus 192, and I think a minus 197. And the rest were, I think I had maybe one a minus 210 or something like that. So I was stoked last year. This year I'm still going with that same goal. If I can get under minus 200, I'll be extremely pleased. If I can get under minus 100, I'll be in heaven. If I ever get the zero back again, call 911, because I'll probably be on the ground. If I ever get plus, call the coroner. Okay, uh, it's just it'd be nice to do, but I just want to make sure that I didn't throw the game away by missing simple spares. That always happens. You're going to have those. I know I'm going to have those bad games. You're going to get 2 or 3 splits, and I don't strike enough to bring it back up to a 180 or 190. I get 3 splits. That's a 160. And if I get 4, it's going to be a 140. It's just the nature of the game and the fact that if I'm splitting that much, guaranteed I'm not striking. Just that simple. If I'm striking, I'm not splitting. It's just that simple. So hopefully it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Um, and then from there, March 13th and 14th, I will be in Carpentersville to their tournament out there. So got a couple of months of some tournaments coming up before the season starts. Um, I am planning on, let's take a look what I'm going to do for the national by and it looks like, although they didn't exactly publish the schedule yet, by looking at the dates, the Ballard is on May 19th, the Monticelli is on May 20th, the Petraglia is on May 21st, and the World Championships is on May 22nd or something like that. So it's one right after another, which makes me think that they're going to go back to what they did previous to last year. Last year they had you qualify on the Ballard, and then they did match play and step ladder finals, and then you would qualify on the Monticelli match play finals, and then they would go ahead and have you qualify on the Petraglia match play finals, and then on the Holman match play finals, and at the end of that, then they had the Worlds. So previously, they would have you qualify on the Ballard. Then the next day, you would qualify 8 games on Ballard, 8 games on Monticelli, 8 games on Petraglia, and then start the match play on there. Let's see, what do you say? Yeah, I heard Jeremy Reynolds say cure the bowlers really well. Okay, cool. Um, I'm thinking by looking at the schedule, the fact that they've got the Ballard, Monticelli, Petraglia, and then Worlds, one right after the other, I think they're going to do the qualify Hall, Ballard, qualify Monticelli, qualify Petraglia, and then gone, which is great for me as far as hotels. Because otherwise, although I enjoyed watching match play and stuff like that, me as being a miser once in a while, uh, really don't like to just spend hotel money on just being there. But I think they haven't posted that yet, so um, when they get to the point where they got the details, I already made the hotel reservations for what I think is going to be in case they do have that, because I knew that the 19th is the championship, so that means like May 18th is probably going to be the match play and adventure round to that position round, and then on the 18th. So I made my reservations to the 17th. I'll modify them if necessary, but I'm gonna take a look here at this because I wanted to do Florida this year. Last year they did Fort Myers, and then they did the Villages. Unfortunately, there's no Fort Myers, and they got the Villages, but the Villages is going to be from April 13th to the 16th, and that's right around my birthday. My birthday is April 17th, and so my oldest son and I, Haley's 39 years old. My oldest son and I go out to Disney for the week, and that is the week of the Villages. So we'll be in Florida. Somebody mentioned to me, says, "Well, why don't you go ahead and bowl, and after bowling, you can then go to Disney?" I go, "No, I'm there for my son, me and my son." So I'm taking a pass on the Villages this year. So from the Villages, from April 30th to May 12th, that's what it was. Okay, so let's look at, okay, so May 9th, I was wrong on the dates. May 9th is the Ballard Championship. May 10th is the Monticelli. May 11th is the Petraglia, and May 12th is the World Series. So it sounds like April 30th is probably going to be practice. So you've got May 1st, probably Ballard. May 2nd will probably be Monticelli. May 3rd will probably be Petraglia. And then they will go 4th, maybe 4th being then the Ballard to get the lineup for that. The 5th, maybe um, the Monticelli, the 6th, maybe the Petraglia, and then um, they'll have some other kinds, which then takes you to the 9th. So that's what I think. They haven't, they haven't got the details yet on there. But I'll be doing the World Series, so that's theoretically from April 30th to Senior Open, the Super Senior Classic, and the USB Senior Masters. I will not be at the Fire Lake Classic in Oklahoma. Once again, too long of a drive for me. So then they'll be coming back June 17th. So my May will probably be looking for any regionals or just do my regular leagues. I'm not too worried about that. Um, June 17th, I'll be doing David Smalls, June 17th to the 20th in Anderson, Indiana. I will definitely be doing the South Shore Classic from June 22nd to 25th at Olympia Lanes in Hammond. I will be doing the World Series, PBA 60 World Series of Bowling at the Columbus Square Bowling Palace, which used to be at Wayne Webb's, but I understand from, I think Steve told me, that uh, um, there are tons of leagues that go. It's a big house, and they just didn't have the scheduling was not that good. So that's July 2nd to 8th. We'll be at the PBA 60 World Series, which makes me wonder. I guess they'd be still doing two. Second would be practice. Third would be one pattern. Fourth would be another. So maybe third and fourth would be one pattern. Fifth and sixth would be the Akron Classic at Riviera Lanes in Fairlawn. I have never. June 26th, 27th, Froze Region left at Hammond Stop. Oh, good. I'll probably be doing that. Steve, you know everything. I'm always left in the dark. Thank goodness you keep me informed. Otherwise, I'd probably be bowling in parking lots. Um, I'm going to do the Akron Classic, July 11th and 12th, 11th to the 14th. AMF Riviera Lanes. I've never bowled there before, and that is a classic place. So I am more excited about bowling in Riviera Lanes. I mean, that's the was that where the Firestone Classic was back in the day? Um, 17 and 22nd, I said that I would never do that again, but never say never. I'm going to do the Bud Moore and see if I can somehow get to there and back home in less than 17 hours. On the way back, especially if they give me an earlier squad, I could probably do it. Last time I caught the 4 o'clock squad, I got done with by 4 o'clock. I hit rush hour traffic and construction, so it took me. I got done bowling. I got my car packed up at 4 o'clock, and I got home 7:30 the following morning. I said I will never do this again. I will do it one more time. If it's the same thing, then definitely never again. I like Bill Moore, and I'm kind of doing it because he's a close friend. And finally, July 27th to the 30th, the Norfolk Classic in Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah, I was thinking about that one, but that's a 17-hour drive or 12-hour drive naturally. I'm going to pass that one up. I'm not going to do Norfolk. So I will be doing the PBA World Series of Bowling, David Smalls, South Shore, PBA 60 World Series, the Akron Classic, and the Bud Moore, and that will be my national tour finishes. From that on, then I'm looking at the regionals. I wonder, Steve, did Billy list his yet? I don't know if I saw. I'm looking right now. Um, I of course got the Plaza Lanes this weekend. I will be doing the Carpentersville, the Liberty Lanes, Midwest Central from March 13th, 14th. Um, I looked at it, then I was going to go into there. I looked at doing, I'm not doing Galleon, the Sherry Botkins one. Like I said, nothing against the tournament at all. I just didn't have fun. And when I did it 2 years ago, and it was nothing against nothing, anything as far as there. I just did not have fun with that one. And it's a long way. Galleon has a long drive not to have fun. I got to have fun. Um, I was thinking about doing the North Liberty, Iowa Bulldogs double, the 50-60, but Steve is doing a very, very another tournament, Worcester, I do believe, the Billy Pros Shop Ballards. No, no, he's no, that's not the one he's doing. He's doing another one that uh, I can't do because of other bowling conflict. Um, what else am I doing? Ripon. I'm gonna probably do Ripon April 24th to 26th. I may do the Ripon one. Um, that one, of course. Let's see. Um, yeah, Friday the 24th, 25th. That gives me. I'm pretty sure I have an opening versus the national tour on that one. Um, what else is there? Oh, the Lorraine. That's the one you're doing, Steve. That's on April 25th and 26th. Um, and that one's the um, Dave Entremont one. Um, what else is there? I see that there is a regional in Moorhead, Minnesota, which is right around the same time as the World Series. I'm thinking about that. I don't know, but I just want to do that or not. I think it's in between. Um, Strike and Spare, Celeste Walker. That's for the young kids. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Although I think they do offer a senior check, so there's always a possibility of that. I'm looking at anything else. Missouri, Kansas, Tennessee, Maryland, Virginia, Louisiana, Virginia. Now we're into July. Florida, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Washington, Lakewood, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, East, South. So I don't see Billy's listed yet, but that doesn't mean I'm going to disagree with you. What do you got? April 26th and 27th. For Billy's? April 26th and 27th. Oh, okay. So for Billy's, they haven't got it listed yet. Let me see what the April 26th, 27th. Let me see what the nationals are again. April 26th and 27th. What's April 26th, 27th? April 26th, 27th. Okay. Yeah, right before the World Series. I think you said that. I'm old. Um, yeah. If they list it, let's see. One day event Saturday and Sunday. If they list it, I'll enter it. I just don't see it listed yet. That's a Toby. Is that a Toby thing? Yeah, Midwest, isn't it? Yeah. Um, so you got a good inside sources there, my friend. Um, yeah, if that's right before Worlds, I'll do that. April 26th, 27th, yeah. I'll leave on the 29th to get there up to Minnesota. So yeah, if they list that, let me know when that's listed. I definitely will sign up for that. I love that's the Ruth Froberg Memorial, I do believe. And Billy Froberg is a phenomenally great person. I will do any tournament that he has. Oh, if that's what it is, 26th and 27th. Um, so 26 would be then practice. Let me see if I can book a motel. I'll always cancel the son of a gun. But the last time I went to go book the Holiday Inn that I normally go at, and guess what? It was booked for every weekend in that month. So I had to go to another, because I got Holiday Inn, I got points, which cost more, although I got it in points, but it cost more than the tournament did. It was $315 for one night. I go like, oh my gosh, because it's got off the lake. But it's like, oh my gosh. So let me see. Um, yeah, I'll look that up later. But if that's 26 and 27, and he gets that on the site, I'll sign up for that. I always loved Billy Froberg's place. Like I said, he's a wonderful guy. Um, Superhuman being. I had bowled, I think 2 years ago at Hammond with him, and my second day, um, I at the end of the first day I was like I was minus 175 or something like that at the end of one day. Um, and my first game was a 245. And I'm looking and I'm going like, I was with Billy, and Billy says, "Great game, Gene." But I had four Brooklyns. And I says, "Yeah, but Billy, I got four Brooklyns. I'm gonna pay for that." He says, "Don't think that way. Don't think that way." I says, "Trust me, I'm gonna pay for this." And that got me down to 90 minus 96. So I'm down minus 96. I'm sitting there going like, okay, there's a possibility of, in 14 games to still be around the 200. Well, guess what? My next game was a 135. So I threw it all away. I told him, I said, "I told you." Yeah, he goes like, "Well, you just can't think that way." He's Billy Froberg's a phenomenal person. I enjoy his companionship. He's very supportive of me. Just a super, super person. So anytime he has a tournament, I'm there. Um, so even if I got to pay $315 for a motel, hopefully I won't have to. But so that's kind of what my plans are for the year. God willing, I'll still be healthy and looking forward to it. It's my fun time of the year. I tell the people in my league that I probably won't be around a whole heck of a lot. I'm going to try. I've got league Saturday. If there is ever a chance I would actually make the cut, I probably wouldn't be able to bowl because you'd have to call the coroner again. So, I'm being honest, there's always hope, but I'm being honest. I'd love to make a cut. Um, that would be the thrill of my life, if I ever did. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Let's see. April 27th, Lorraine, Ohio. Froze June 26th, 28th. Don't get the dates mixed. Okay, gotcha. June 26th, 28th. Okay. Yeah, so uh oh, Steve, you got to know me by now how I get things mixed up. Remember the barn, okay? I had the barn Tuesday. Um no, um but that Froberg still wasn't up there though. June 26th, 28th. I didn't see it up there. Um I'll look again, but I didn't see it up there, so maybe it hasn't been listed yet. That gives me a little time to make book a hotel room then. Then I have to pay $315. But I am extremely positive this year, no matter what happens. I could have a tremendously terrible year. It won't make a difference. Right now, I'm very positive. I'm going to stay positive no matter how good or how bad, because inside, mentally, I am throwing better. I am bowling better. I'm extremely confident on my game. Oh, Bill. Okay. Okay, good. I don't distrust you. I just don't see it and I can't enter it. So hopefully Toby will get it up soon. Um Actually Billy asked me. He said uh they have summer leagues up there. And he says, "Why don't you join the summer league?" And I said, "Well, it's only a 90-minute drive." I says, "That's a little bit." And he says, "Yeah, why don't you come on up? We have some fun." So unfortunately, I don't think I'd be able to. I don't like to have leagues during the summer because I'm gone so much. So, but again, this year, I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy that I am bowling well, better than I did last year. Hopefully, my tournaments will be better than I last year. I know I'm going to have some real dogs, and I know I'm going to have some halfway decent ones. I might even have a great one. I did once. Means I could possibly do it again. Um, all depends upon, truthfully, I'll be honest with you. Number one, my spare making. If that's on, spot on. I did at least, I can think of 3 or 4 tournaments out of the 17 I did last year, but out of the national ones, 3 or 4 national ones where I missed no more than 3 makeables in each of the tournaments, and that's like in 14 days. So there are days that I've been absolutely spot on. The opens came on splits, or washouts, so I mean it can be there. If I can have my spare game good, it's now up to me to try and take the knowledge that Eugene had given to me on how to try and make sure that my ball drives into the pocket, and that's with the revs. And I'm not talking, once again, not 500 revs or not three. I don't even know what my revs are going to be. But when there are significant revs, you can watch your ball actually drive versus just hit the pins and deflect. And he said that's what happens when you don't have the drive into the pocket. Now he can do it with speed as well as revs. I don't have the speed. Although it must have been a mistake. What was it? Was it Tuesday? We were on 27 and 28 on Tuesday, and one of the balls I threw was 14.1 miles an hour. Normal speed is. So 14.1, that's something was wrong with the marker. But if I can make my spares, I will be competitive for me. Um, if I can string 5 or 6 strikes a game, I will be competitive. Will I make the cut? It all depends. That time that in Canton when I averaged 200 with 1600, I was 65th out of 95. That's phenomenal for me. But Troy Lint won the tournament averaging 240. Okay. I averaged 200 and was extremely pleased to do so. He did 240, won the tournament. So I don't judge that. I only go with myself. And if I can go ahead and make my spares where I'm not really throwing away games and throwing away pins by missing a lot of spares like I did Tuesday. What, 4 in 3 games? That's ridiculous. Um, I will feel good. And then it's up to me to be able to take that knowledge that Eugene has given to me and see if I can execute it. I know what to do, but can I execute it? If I can execute it, I have proven that I can strike. Mind you, this is on house shots, but I've already had 279, 268, 260 something or other. Let me see what we got here. The rain stop for the 50 guys will be in the middle of July, I believe, before Akron stop. The Raven family requested this. Oh, I'll have to take a look at that. That okay, and that one I do believe is on the website. That one. So we shall see. Uh, I like I said, I'm feeling good. Um, I think I'm gonna try something. If I can do it in my car, I may stream a little bit when I'm driving, just to have some thoughts. Um, may not on the way up there, but on the way back, just to have some as close to the end of the tournament feelings as I possibly can on it. But that's if I can set the tripod up and set like I got my setup here, because I'm not going to drive and I'll hold a camera. I get pulled over. Um, but I will see if I can do that. If I can do that, then I will definitely express my feelings, good or bad, on what the tournament is, similar to what I do with my leagues. What were the good points? What were the bad points? Did I make my spares? Did I not make my spares? Did I strike more? Did I have good games? Whatever it's going to be. I'll try and do that. I'll try and stream for a little while because that also will kind of cut the drive. I think the drive's like 2.5 hours. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about the whole season. I was waiting for to come out with the schedule. Now I'm waiting for it so that I can sign up, so that I can firm up my motels, and then have everything all taken care of, so I can just go ahead and drive and get there. Um, I'm happy. Um, I have a halfway decent ball selection. Like I said, my concept and bionic are coming in Monday, which won't do me good for this tournament, but will be probably drilled up for Carpentersville. I'm debating on bringing the Vengeance. I have thrown it a couple times in league. I may bring it anyhow. I have it drilled up. When I threw it in league, I threw it for like about 5 frames. I wasn't impressed, but the conditions may not have been that good. And when I drilled up at that time, I drilled up 4 balls, and I have only 3 games, and I still want to bowl halfway decent for my team. So they always get kind of frustrated with you changing balls again. I said, yeah, I did this one for about 5 or 6 frames. I want to see what the other one does. Yeah, but Gene, we want to win. I said, yeah, I know. I'm trying to sacrifice. So I really didn't give the Vengeance a fair shake. I may bring it anyhow. Being 40 foot, um, I want to have more symmetrical balls than asymmetrical balls because the shape of the pattern is going to give me the motion I need. And I will have my asymmetrical balls in case of I have to move way left because of transition. I normally don't like to start out with asymmetrical balls unless there is so much oil out there that the ball never comes back. And then I need the block's help. If there's a halfway decent amount of oil, and for a 40-foot pattern, there should be a fair amount, and yet a fair amount of what you got 20 feet worth of back end to deal with. So using the 31 to thing like that, 40 feet, you're on sitting on 9 at 40 feet. So I think I can get some good symmetrical balls. I'll probably also bring the motive. Let's see. I would say yes. Bring the Vengeance 40 foot 20 mils. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring the Vengeance. It's almost practically brand new. I think it's got four frames on it, so that should be good. I also probably will bring the Raptor Rain, which I have used I think it was in Westland, and I was not only able to move left with that, but when I reached a pair that left wasn't working, I went to the right because everybody had migrated in. I said, well, maybe it's been a while since I was to the right. So I went up 7 and I was crushing it. And the Raptor Rain just rolled right in. Even one of the guys I was bowling with, I can't remember who it was, said to me, he says, like, oh my God. Yeah, I never realized that. I says, yeah, I don't throw it this way normally because it has a nice back end on it, but it worked. So I'll bring the Raptor Rain, I'll bring the Vengeance. Like I said, a highly amount of symmetrical balls. I'll have my Phase 2, the Phase 2 Pearl I'll definitely bring, and a couple others. What has got? Hyperdrive Pearl? Oh, yes. Yes, Hyperdrive Pearl is coming, and the Hyperdrive Solid is coming also. When I was in Lorraine last year, yes, it's a great ball. When I was in Lorraine last year, I think it was last year or the year before, I can't remember what it was. They had a problem because of the weather. It might have been last year. The weather, it was so humid and rained a lot that they had to shut down. It was at the Redmond Center. They had to shut down the other side of the house because the bowlers in practice said they're not going to bowl on it. There was so much humidity built up on the approaches they couldn't get it playable. They tried their best. So the other side of the house is where we all did it. Um, it was wet dry from day one. Um, a couple of bowlers, I won't mention their name, but they have won titles, came up to me and said, "Hey, Gene, we're below you." And I go like, "Oh no!" And they're bowling 160s, 140s, and something. And so I was bowling in the 170s. I think maybe my highest game was like a 187. But everything was like in 150s, 170s. And it was wet dry. I tried everything. So finally I said, you know what? Let me get out my Hyperdrive Solid. This is before the Pearl came out. And let me get that out. And I'm going to move probably about 7 and 3. So I was going up probably around 14, 14, 15, 16. And I was standing probably on 20 with my right foot. When I say stand, my pinky of my right foot was on 20. So wherever that means in real life and real bowling terms, that's where I was. I was way left. I shot a 224. I go like, oh my gosh, I tried this early. I got back in the paddock, and the one guy that came up to me and told me I was above him. He says, "What'd you shoot the last game?" I says, 224. He says, "Ah, shit, you probably beat me." I didn't, but it was a matter of 9 pins that he was above me. Um, but the Hyperdrive series is a wonderful series, both the Pearl and the Solid. So I'll be bringing both of those. And like I said, my RS2 X2 is going to come along. The Phase 2 is going to come along. The um, uh, Anger's going to come along. The uh, what else is there? Yeah, RC the what is that? A Defender Hybrid's going to come. I'm going to bring the Ion Pro because that's 4,000 surface along with the that new Transformers 4,000 surface. And I find for me sometimes I can go to the 4,000 surface balls before I go to pearls because I don't get the wet dry with the surface on it. Yes, I could take one of the pearls and throw, let's say 2,000. I hit it with 2,000, knock the shine off. But what if I need that then? Then I can't go undo that. So I will have some 4,000 balls. Another 4,000 ball is what is this? The Summit Ascent, I do believe, is a 4,000 ball also, and that has one heck of a little background on it. I'm on my route right now in Peru, Illinois. Listen to you. Yes, I still work. Work. What is work? What was it? Maynard G. Krebs. Work. Um. So those balls I'm going to bring. Like I said, I like to bring a lot of 4,000 balls for that in between when a solid is taking off too much and a pearl gives me um, wet dry. My worst example with that was I was doing the Dale Ballard and I had kind of run out of my. This is I think this is the second time I was on Dale Ballard, so this is about 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and I had to move way left because my speed and that kind of thing. So I brought out the effect. Oh, was that a bad idea? Oh my gosh, I had four splits and two washouts in one game. That was like a 130 something. It was like okay, fine. That lesson number one: don't bring out a pearl when you have what, when you got to do something on a short pattern. So I I I very rarely will do that, and the effect is a great ball, but it was just not the ball for that time. So I come across the as I acquire more balls, I come across the 4000 um, type surface balls, and that's the IAM Pro. And like I said, that new transformer last night, I threw it in third game at Centennial and was striking at will if Will let me strike. Um, and that turned out to be, but it got to a point where I think when my 10th frame of that thing, I was had moved like 5 or 6 boards left, and it was still too much. So I mean, it for 4000, it really really takes off. It's a good ball. It's not a first ball out of my bag. I tried it and I didn't like it, but it's a halfway decent transition ball if I've got to move left and I need help with the block because of my lack of speed and revs. So that's pretty much what it is. But I've got 9 balls already selected. I've had those selected for a week, and now as I come up with the last 3 I want to bring. And like I said, I may sneak 3 more that I keep in the car because you can't put in the paddock 15 balls. They'll throw you out. Worlds they let you get by because you're on 3 and 4 patterns, but nothing something like this. So I sometimes get away with even 12. They like to see 9 in there. And if it's really crowded, I'll just throw 9 and I'll have 2 in the car. And I'll bring the 2, if I need to in practice, what I'm going to put back in the car and what I'm not going to put back in the car. But that's the battle plan. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Um, I always get excited about this kind of stuff. I love this stuff as long as I can do it. I feel very fortunate. And those that have been watching these live streams of my bowling, good or bad. I really appreciate the support. I'm not going to be one to sit there and constantly hound to say subscribe and do this kind of stuff. Um, the mere fact that you just drop by, even if it's for only a little minute, I really appreciate it. Um, I'm going to milk this journey for as long as I possibly can. I'm very fortunate that physically I can still do it. And Paddock is small there. Yeah, I kind of figured that. Yeah, that's right. That's usually the game room last year, I think it was. So probably I'll just have 9 and I'll have 2 in the car. Because you can just go right out, your car's right there. And here's another thing I'm going to do. I am not going to bring my bags along with me. Uh, not 2 of them. I will bring 1, but I'll have them outside of the paddock area over on the left side against the wall. Because one year I had my 2 bags under the table, and normally they had 2 squads, but this was the first year for the 1 squad, so there was bags all over the place. I couldn't find a place for my bags, so I had 2 underneath the tables that people usually sit at, and I came back and they were gone. And I said to some people, I said, "Did you see anything?" And I think Tom Adcock's, was it her? Anyway, she said to me, "I think it might be in the game room." So I got to still bowl, and I needed a ball change. So I went back and I bowled, and after the game, I went in the game room, and yes, somebody did move my balls, and they took my bags and they literally threw them. They were upside down in the thing. So I apologized to whoever it was, but I was only going down 2 or 3 lanes and there were nowhere for me to put the ball. So now I found a spot last year that it's they have a left side and a right side. All the way on the wall. Yeah, all the way on the wall, way, way far out of everything. I put my bags and I will walk because I will know they will not be thrown somewhere. So that's the way it goes. Um, but yeah, I will probably have the 9 in the paddock. And then if I have anything else, they will be with me, but I'm only bringing 1 bag with me. So it makes it easier from go to pair rather than just carry all that stuff. So that's the plan. Um, it's um, it's fun, and we shall see what goes on. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's good enough. But um, other than that, once again, thanks for following me along. I know I've kind of been a little, oh boy, 86 minutes, over an hour. You guys got a life. I don't. I'll let you move on with your life. Thank you very much for stopping by today. If I bowl with you in league and you're watching, thank you very much. I have a good time no matter what I do. If I bowl tournaments, it's like I do with Steve. Thank you very much for stopping by and let me know what's going on. I look forward to catching up with you again, and we can talk about other tournaments when we get together. I'm open and definitely I will be doing health wise, if I'm okay, I will be doing the Billy Froberg because I totally enjoy uh, that tournament, and that's actually where my things were thrown. Yeah. Well, Steve, sometimes when my scores are and I'm hitting the barn, we got to ask the question: Am I competing or not? So there you go. Take it for what it's worth. Um, but I'm fortunate. I can only be thankful. I'm able to spend my retirement years doing something that I actually enjoy doing. I had originally planned to just build my violins and violas and just that be it. And then because I graduated, I didn't graduate, but I left school a little earlier. But I couldn't stay because I got offered a job in my field of software development. I told myself I can't pass this up because I've been out of work I did some contracts here and there, but basically was going off funds that I had saved and money was down. So I didn't officially go through the whole graduation ceremonies, but I did go. I did go for the 3 year program, and so I learned how to build them. But I picked up bowling again after 25 years being off, and um, I'm very fortunate that I was able to bowl at a level that um, I could qualify for the PBA and had the requirements for the PBA. And ever since I joined the PBA, if you're ever if you're ever worried about joining the PBA, and you have the requirements, you have to have a 200 average and stuff, and I did at the time. Um, and I think it's minimum 36 games. At that time when I was a 200 average, and absolutely, I will see you. You drive safe too, my friend. Um, And so I registered, I got in there, and of course the first couple of years, I mean, I'm a doofus. I don't know what to do. I'm watching these guys. I was in last place more often than you could. You know, I was even kidding. When you're listen to roster, just go ahead and put me in last place because that's probably where we're going to end. A couple of tournaments I did not get in last place. Um, the experience that you get out of this is phenomenal. Um, it is the ultimate in bowling. It is to watch bowling, even watching on Bowl TV to watch qualification, you're sitting there going like, oh yeah, the lanes look pretty tough. Your lanes, but you really can't have that feel unless you're actually throwing the ball. Now, am I going to throw it like Parker? No. Am I going to throw it like Chris Barnes? Am I going to throw it like? No, I'm not. There's no Norm. No. Are you kidding me? It's not going to happen. However, watching them bowl the 240s and me bowling the 170s, I'm bowling on the exact same thing as they are, and especially if I'm crossing with them. I'm bowling on the same pair as they're bowling on at the same time. They're shooting 240s, I'm not. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I suck. Okay. I wouldn't call what I do suck. I call what I do me. I'm doing the best I can, even on the 140s, even on the 250s. I'm doing the best I can for the conditions on the pair that I'm on the transition that I'm experiencing, on the pattern I'm experiencing. Take that good or bad as just learning. I can't stress that enough. I do not get dejected. I'll get disappointed with myself, especially if I miss, like I miss a 7 pin, then I'll miss a 10 pin, then I'll miss another 10 pin. Sure, I'll say to myself, Gene, what are you doing? Okay. I don't carry that over. I try not to carry that over into the next frame. Although sometimes with tens, you can't help it. But whether I bowl good or I bowl bad, the people that I've bowled with, their level of support and encouragement is unbelievable. I've had uh, James Cowell. Um,
come up to me and basically said, Gene, I got a good feeling about this for you. Let's go, guy. And he means it. Um, I've had Tom Hess. Hey, Gene, hey, Mean Gene, how are you? Bowl well today. On one tournament that he was doing the broadcasting, he was standing behind me and I bowled a 235. I turned around and he turned around and he says to me, he says, that was a great game, Gene. I was crossing next to him on another tournament. Him and Pete were on the pair next to me, and I picked up a split or something like that. He says, "Great, great shot, Gene." Whether you like people or you don't like people, or you do it doesn't make a difference. These guys are Hall of Famers. These guys are phenomenal bowlers, and they're great people. Pete Weber has congratulated me. Chris Barnes has congratulated. Parker Bone has congratulated me. Other guys, Jeff Johnson. Jeff Johnson's a rep with Brunswick. He has been encouraged. The last tournament that I did at Strike and Spare, he says, Gene, you were in it until the last two games. He said, congratulations. Whether he realizes it or not, that means an awful lot. Um, so the support that you get out there is well worth the thing. Don't go out there thinking, oh gosh, I'm going to bowl bad. What are people going to think? If you do that, then don't go. I don't. If I bowl bad, I don't really I don't personally care what other people are thinking. I'm just saying to myself, okay, what can I do to improve myself? If they think I suck, that's their opinion, and that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm not bowling for them. I'm bowling for me. Because when the bowl comes down to it, you're the one that's doing it. You're the one that's executing it. You're the one that's practicing. You're the one that's trying. And you're trying to see whether or not it works. I was talking on Tuesday. One of our guys got a 710, and he got all pissed off. And I can't believe it. And I says, I told the guy, I says, listen, I said, I've already gotten a 710 tonight or this afternoon. It's a noon thing. And I says, you know what I get when I get a 710? You know what? The first thing that comes in my mind on a 710, and this is the honest to God truth. Am I picking up my sevens better or am I picking up my tens better? Which one am I picking up today better? That's the one I'm shooting for. And that's all I think of. And I don't think about how, oh, this is not fair. No, you threw the ball. This is the way it is. This is 100% pure physics. And so when I get a 710, am I picking my sevens better? Am I picking my tens? Why? Because I want that pin. I want that one pin. I don't try and pick it up. And sometimes, let's say I have a 4-7-10 or a 4-9 or a 4-9-7 or something like that, and I pick it up, I really wasn't trying for it. I just happen to go in the general area, but I really want those. If I have a 4-4-9, I want that 4 pin. If I have a 4-7-9, I want that 4-7. If I happen to yank it a little bit and throw it and pick it up, great. I'm happy for it. If I've got a 6-7, I'm not trying to pick it up, but I'll get in a position that I know I want to get to the right of it, but I still want to get that 6 pin. And if I pick it up, it's usually because I probably let it loose a little bit more. It was on accident, trust me. But I want to get in the general area. I want the pins. The pin count is when it all counts. So you get a 710. All right. How many tens have I had today? How many sevens have I had today? I haven't had a lot of sevens, tens. I've had more tens than I have sevens. I'm going for the 10 pin. Or I've had more sevens and I've only had a few 10 pins. I'm going for the 7 pin because I've picked them all up. That's what I think. And if you keep on thinking it, constantly thinking this is you're presented with. This is the problem you're presented with. You're either presented with a full rack or you're presented with some pins. Now what's going to be my approach? This is what I've got. React immediately. What do I got to do? And at that point in time, that's what it all is. And the difference between league bowl and professional bowling and the trans out there, the transition and everything that's out there, you just have more of a challenge. And for me, I'll be honest with you, why I'm not finishing at the top, very simple. I'm not striking enough. It's just that simple. It's not only learning how to throw a ball, learning how to release a ball, learning how to play a lane, it's learning how to strike. Number one, got to pick up your spares. You can strike all you want. If you aren't picking up your spares, you're losing 11 pins every time. Next is, how can I strike? And when you're throwing a ball and you're not striking, watch what the pins are doing. I'm getting better at that, and see what they're doing. And then if this is what's happening, is the adjustment that I make? And where do I pick that up? Watch Bowl TV. Watch qualifying. These guys are talking today. Tom Hess. Sometimes they have Jimmy Callahan on. You got Tom Carter on there. You've got Mike Flanagan. You got Craig Elliott. You got Dave Lamont. These guys all know what they're talking about. And you got the mayor, Brian King. You got all these guys, and Chase, and all that guys, and Email. Oh my gosh, Email does the women's and stuff. Email's my good luck charm. I bowled a tournament one time, and I just came off like a 170 something, and I bowled right in front of Email in the booth, and I shot a 235. I says, Email, can you come with me? You're my good luck charm. These guys are phenomenal announcers, and what makes them so great is that, especially that when you get there and they get in the technical stuff, they're going to tell you what's why something happened and how to possibly correct it. That's where you learn. So you try and remember all that stuff when it comes in your time. All right, I remember this is what Mike said, or this is what Jimmy Callahan said, or this is what Tom Hess said. Um, that's our education, and thank goodness for Bowl TV. I think it's 139.99. I don't get anything for this, but if you're an avid bowler and you haven't subscribed to Bowl TV, please do. It is the greatest educational system you could ever have. Even going to a coach is a one-off situation. But when you're watching 90 bowlers or 60 bowlers or 100 bowlers bowling 8 games over 3 days, and the talking and the announcing that's going on and what's going on, what ball changes they're making, what the problems they're having, what they're seeing. Here we should. They've sitting there going like, he'd be better off getting in this kind of a ball and moving left. Why? Okay, why? What is he doing? Why is he not doing it? He's not striking. Okay. There's a reason why. Like I said, it's all physics, and physics is 100% natural. You can't get away from it. Um, so that's what I do when I bowl, and it's always analysis. It's always trying to. I don't have time to get really pissed off and throw things and pound on things. It doesn't do any good. And if you pound, you're going to hurt yourself anyhow. So it's not worth it. Um, you got a shot. All right, it's good. Okay, what did I do? Can I do it again? I was at the Worlds one time, and James Kraft, a wonderful person. He's from Anchorage, Alaska. Great guy, great bowler, Brunswick person. I had three. We were at the Worlds. I can't remember what pattern it was, but he was sitting in the back because he was on a different squad. And I put three Brooklyns in a row. And I looked at him and I laughed. And he looked at me and he says, "Gene, don't move." Of course, what did Gene do? He moved and got a split. He looks at me, he goes like, "I told you, don't move." So um, great bunch of support for me. I've got nothing but positives all over, and I'm extremely grateful and thankful for everybody that has supported me, even in the Bowl TV chat. So with that, I'm gonna probably let you guys have a life, and thank you very much for stopping by. Um, I'll see you out on the lanes, and it's not going to be covered this week um, on any kind of thing. If I get a chance, I may try and film a few games, but I don't know. It depends upon the situation there. Definitely can't live stream. It's against the rules. I don't have a license to live stream anything PBA, and I have no intention of doing that. But I may record some stuff, and just for my own education. So thank you once again for stopping by. Until if I make it back in time, I will stream for Saturday night. If not, I will see you Sunday night. Take care, and thank you once again for spending time with me today.